One of the most important things that I think we need to rethink in advertising is the concept of buying for value instead of price. Too much of advertising is really oriented around price. There's so many discussions about getting cheap CPMs, lower CPMs. Cheap reach is a phrase you'll hear often in programmatic, but really in everything in digital. And I really think that's the wrong way to look at it. And so one of the things I just want to maybe course correct a little bit in our industry at this moment is really orienting around value and not price. Otherwise, you'll miss out on some of the most effective advertising in the world. Like, for instance, I believe that CTV and audio are some of the most effective advertising ever. They are also some of the most expensive. But it doesn't mean that on a value basis they're expensive. It just means that their price is expensive. It's a $50 CPM. But if that's more than 5 times more effective than a $10 display ad, then it is a great value, even though the price is very expensive. Incidentally, the same is true if I said, hey, do you want to run on display? Or maybe I said, do you want to run on native? A number of you would say, I don't want to. It's not really worth it. If I said, what if it's free or a penny CPM? Then you'd say, well, as long as it's brand safe, I'm happy to run on that. Which I think is actually orienting us towards the very discussions that we should be having, which is around value instead of just price. And incidentally, as you orient more and more towards value, I also think that makes you more omnichannel oriented. Because often what happens is at the very top of the funnel, you have awareness that comes especially well in CTV and in audio. You have the process of winning hearts and minds. You make people feel things. And then as you move down the funnel, sometimes it's just nudges to move them down the funnel further. And some of the most cost-effective ways to do that are in other channels like display, or those that are a little bit cheaper but are reminders of the things they felt higher up in the funnel. So as we orient more and more towards value over price, I think we also become more omnichannel, and we think more holistically about the way that we're progressing campaigns instead of just saying, where can I get the cheapest CPM? Because that is actually serving us less well now than it ever has before, in part because the abundance of user-generated content and inventory that is less brand safe is only getting bigger, and that problem creates greater disparities on value while price isn't changing a lot. And by the way, buyers have more power to affect price than they know. And that is by funneling their dollars to the things that have the greatest efficacy and value rather than those that are just cheapest.